If your conditional formatting looks wrong, it's usually not the formula, it's the rule priority. Excel doesn't blend rules the way most people expect. It evaluates them in a specific order, and the first rule that paints a format can hide what you wanted to stand out. That's why a row can stay yellow, even though it should turn red, or your blank cell rule keeps winning over everything else. The fix is simple once you know the mental model. Conditional formatting is basically a stack of decisions. Excel checks each rule, top to bottom, then applies formats based on what matches. Some formats can override others, and stop if true can block rules below it completely. In the next few minutes, you'll get a clean way to diagnose priority problems, reorder rules with confidence, and use stop if true only when it actually helps. You'll also learn a couple of common traps that make priority feel random. Next step. Start with the core idea. Conditional formatting is evaluated per cell. For each cell, Excel checks Rule 1, then Rule 2, then Rule 3, in the order shown in the Rules Manager. If a rule's condition is true, Excel applies that rule's formatting. Then it continues checking the next rules, unless stop if true is turned on for a rule that matched. Here's the part that surprises people. Multiple rules can be true at the same time. Excel doesn't pick the most severe rule. It just follows the order. And when two rules both set the same property, like fill color, the later applied format can overwrite the earlier one. But if one rule sets bold text and another sets a fill color, those can appear together because they affect different properties. So priority is really about which rule gets the final say on each formatting attribute. Once you think in attributes, fill, font, border, number format, most weird results become predictable. Next step. Now, the fastest way to diagnose a priority issue is to ask one question: which rule is winning for the attribute you care about? If the problem is the fill color, focus only on rules that set a fill. If the problem is text color, focus on text color rules. Then check the order. A common pattern is a base rule, like light gray for blanks, then a status rule like yellow for in progress, then a critical rule like red for overdue. If the base rule sits below the critical rule, it can repaint the cell after the red rule already matched. That makes it look like the red rule didn't work, even though it did. Another clue is when your formula works in a normal cell test, but the formatting still looks off. That usually means the formula is fine, but another rule is overriding the same attribute later in the stack. Next step. Let's talk about rule order strategy, because move it up isn't enough. A clean approach is to group rules by purpose. Put broad, low-priority styling first, and put narrow, high-importance styling later, so it can overwrite earlier styles when needed. For example, a subtle zebra stripe for readability is broad. It should be near the top. A rule that flags exceptions like negative margins or overdue invoices is narrow and important. It should be closer to the bottom, so it wins on fill color. If you use icon sets, those are often best placed after base fills, because icons are a separate attribute, but they can still interact with number formats. Also, watch out for duplicate rules. Two similar rules with slightly different ranges can create a priority war, where you think you changed one rule, but the other one still applies later. When in doubt, simplify to fewer rules with clearer intent. Next step. The next big source of confusion is overlapping ranges. Conditional formatting rules are tied to an applies to range, and if two rules apply to the same cell, they compete by order. The tricky part is that people often build rules in phases. First, they format column D. Then later they format the whole table. Then later they add a rule for a single row. Now you have three rules hitting the same cells, sometimes with different relative references. That's when priority feels unpredictable. A good cleanup step is to standardize ranges. If a rule is meant for the whole table, make the applies to range exactly the table body. If it's meant only for a column, keep it only for that column. And if you copy and paste formatted cells, Excel may quietly create extra rules or expand applies to ranges. So range hygiene matters as much as formula logic. Next step. Now let's get specific about stop if true, because it's powerful and easy to misuse. Stop if true means, if this rule evaluates to true for a cell, Excel will not evaluate any rules below it for that cell. It's not about highest priority, it's about cutting off the rest of the stack. That's useful when you want mutually exclusive states. For example, if a cell is blank, you might want it gray and you don't want any other rule to decorate it. Put the blank rule near the top and enable stop if true. But if you want blanks to be gray while still allowing, say, a border rule to apply, then stop if true is the wrong tool. Another good use is tiered thresholds. If value is above 100, make it green and stop. Else, if above 80, make it yellow and stop. Else red. That prevents multiple threshold rules from stacking unpredictably. Next step, here's a reliable pattern for tiered logic without headaches. Order your rules from most specific to least specific, and use stop if true only within that tiered group. Let's say you have 3 conditions for a due date: overdue, due soon, and fine. Overdue is most specific and most important, so it goes first in that group. Due soon goes next. Fine is last, or you skip it and just leave the default formatting. Then you turn on stop if true for overdue and due soon, so each cell picks exactly one status color. The key is to keep that group together, not scattered among other rules. If you mix in unrelated rules between them, stop if true can block things you didn't intend. Think of it like an if-else chain. It works best when the rules are truly alternatives, not independent decorations. Next step, let's cover one of the most common priority wrong moments: blanks, zeros, and empty strings. Excel can treat these differently depending on where they come from. A truly blank cell is empty. A formula that returns in is not blank, even though it looks blank, and a zero can be displayed as blank if you use a custom number format. If your conditional formatting rule checks for blanks using something like is blank, it will not catch formula empty strings. That leads to rules below still applying, and the result looks inconsistent across the column. A safer approach is to decide what blank means in your sheet. If you want to treat empty strings as blank, test for equals 0 as well. If you want to treat zeros as blank, test for equals 0 or use a threshold. Once your blank logic is consistent, priority issues often disappear, because your blank override rule actually matches the cells you think it matches. Next step. Another silent priority killer is relative versus absolute references inside your conditional formatting formulas. Conditional formatting formulas are evaluated as if they were written for the top left cell of the applies to range, then copied across. If you lock the wrong part with $signs, the condition can shift and you'll get a pattern that looks random. Then you try to fix it by changing rule order, but the real problem is the formula reference. A quick sanity check is to identify the anchor cell, the first cell it applies to, and rewrite the formula so it makes sense there. Use relative references for the moving part, and absolute references for fixed columns, fixed rows, or lookup ranges. For example, if every row should compare its own value to a threshold in a single cell, that threshold should be absolute. If every row should compare to its own date, that date reference should be relative. Get the references right before you tune priority. Next step. Let's talk about a special case: conditional formatting created by tables, filters, and structured ranges. When you format a table, Excel often creates rules that expand automatically as the table grows. That's helpful, but it also means your applies to range may be larger than you think, and rules can overlap with non-table cells. Also, some built-in table styles include their own formatting that can visually compete with conditional formatting. Conditional formatting still applies, but the combination can make subtle colors hard to distinguish, which feels like priority is broken. The fix is to be intentional. Decide whether the table style is your base layer and conditional formatting is your exceptions. If so, keep table style simple and let conditional formatting do the heavy lifting. And keep your conditional rules scoped to the table body, not entire columns, so you don't accidentally format headers, totals, or adjacent notes. Next step. If you inherit a workbook with a messy rules manager, here's a cleanup workflow that works. First, pick one target area, like a single column or the table body, and only manage rules for that selection. Next, sort rules mentally into 3 buckets: base styling, status highlights, and error or exception flags. Then remove or merge duplicates. If 2 rules do almost the same thing, keep one and widen its logic slightly. After that, reorder. Base first, status next, exceptions last. Finally, decide where stop if true belongs. Use it only in groups where you want one outcome,
not multiple layers. As you do this, test edge cases, blank values, extreme values, and unexpected text. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is predictability. So when you add the next rule, you know exactly where it goes and what it will override. Next step, one more nuance. Priority can look different when you copy formats or use Format Painter. Excel may paste conditional formatting rules into the destination, sometimes adjusting applies to ranges in ways you didn't intend. That can create two similar rules with different priorities, and now the destination cells behave differently than the source. If you need consistent behavior across sheets, prefer copying cells without formats, then recreate conditional formatting intentionally. Or, if you do copy, immediately check whether new rules were added and whether the applies to range is expanded. Also consider performance. Too many overlapping rules can slow recalculation, especially with volatile functions or whole column ranges. Cleaning rule order and scope isn't just about aesthetics. It can make the workbook feel snappier and more reliable, because Excel has fewer conditions to evaluate for each cell. Next step. To wrap it up, here's the checklist you can use anytime conditional formatting doesn't work. First, identify the attribute that's wrong: fill, font, border, or icons. Second, find every rule that touches that attribute for the same cells. Third, fix the applies to ranges so rules aren't overlapping by accident. Fourth, reorder rules so broad styling is earlier and exceptions are later. Fifth, use stop if true only for true if else logic, like blanks or tiered thresholds. And finally, confirm your formulas use the right relative and absolute references from the anchor cell. If you follow that sequence, conditional formatting becomes predictable instead of mysterious. If you want more Excel troubleshooting scripts like this, subscribe. And for a quick pulse check, comment with your preference. Do you use stop if true often? Yes or no? I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.